Aubrey Aubergine. Aubrey Aubergine is one of the Munch Bunch. He is a real snob. He thinks he is so much better than all the other Munch Bunch. He lives in an old toy castle surrounded by a moat. Aubrey decided that it was about time that he held another function at the castle. As it is summer, a garden party would be a jolly good idea, he thought to himself. So he asked Percy Prune to print the invitations, and then he asked Runner Bean to deliver them. Most of the Munch Bunch were delighted to receive an invitation to attend Aubrey's garden party. But some of them were very disappointed. The invitations to Billy, Scruff, Rosie, Susie, and Dick and the Turnip Gang read, "You are invited to help tidy up before the garden party begins." "What a cheek!" screeched Susie. "We'll fix him." Billy and Scruff were the first to arrive. "Right," ordered Aubrey. "Scruff can paint the tennis court lines, while Billy mows the lawn." Aubrey was too busy flicking pieces of grass off his waistcoat to notice Scruff pouring a whole pot of stick-fast glue into the white paint. Billy and Scruff carefully piled the grass cuttings into one big heap, nice and neat, Aubrey had said. It wasn't like Billy and Scruff to do as they were told, but this was all part of the plan. Susie and Rosie had been given the job of preparing the food. "We will teach Aubrey a lesson," chuckled Rosie, and with that, they began to put soap powder into all the trifles. "This is fun," laughed Susie. "I can't wait to see their faces." Aubrey should have known better than to give Dick and the Turnip Gang a job. They never help anybody. But Aubrey had asked them to paint the boats on the moat. Instead of painting just the edges, Dick plastered thick red paint on the seats, and his gang drilled holes in the bottom of the boats. On the day of the party, Aubrey thought everything was under control. He proudly welcomed his guests as they arrived. They were all dressed very smartly, because they knew Aubrey's parties were always a grand affair. The party was soon in full swing. Aubrey arranged a tennis match, and Adam Avocado handed out the trifles. Everyone was having a splendid time. Sally ran back to hit the ball, but, to her horror, her feet stuck firmly to the white lines. "Help, help!" she cried. Casper went to help, but found that he was stuck too. Scruff's glue was working well. Aubrey and the others were having trouble too. The trifles tasted terrible, and soap bubbles began to pour out of their mouths. When they were feeling better, Aubrey suggested that they all went for a punt in the boats. Corny, Casper, and Aubrey took a boat each, while Sally and the others relaxed in the seats. Suddenly, there was disaster. The boats began to sink. They tipped up and everyone fell overboard. "This really is terrible," wailed Aubrey. "My clothes are ruined." One by one, they struggled ashore. Soon they found out that getting wet wasn't the only disaster. Pippa, Lizzie, and all the others who had been sitting down had a strip of red paint across their bottoms. The party was ruined. Aubrey felt ashamed. Everyone was wet and miserable. But there was more to come. As soon as they reached the lawn, Scruff whispered, "Okay, Billy, let them have it. Turn on the fan." Billy put the fan on full speed, and the grass cuttings flew everywhere. Susie and the others laughed aloud as they watched Aubrey and his unhappy guests falling about. Everyone had an awful time. They were wet, cold, and covered in grass cuttings. "That will teach you not to invite us to your party, but expect us to help you," chuckled Scruff. Aubrey wished that he had invited them all now. Then they would all have had a good time. Still, I'm sure he will remember that next time.